Does size matter? It's the age-old question, and today we're going to answer it with regards to running. Does how big you are make a difference to the way you run? In particular, we're going to talk about how to start running if you're overweight. I'm Brad from CoachParry.com, and this is episode 2 of The Comeback. You may recall about 7 weeks ago, we published a video of my journey to the Cape Town Marathon in 2022, and I wanted to give you a bit of an update as to how that's going, but also, if you're in the same boat that I am, how to get started. If you missed episode 1, please click on the link that's on screen now to find out where I'm coming from. In this video, I'm going to share some of the training things that I've been doing over the last 7 weeks, as well as the one thing that I've been absolutely shocking with. Before I do that though, let me hand you over to Lindsey to talk you through some of the things that you should be looking out for as an overweight runner when you first get started.
Often when people are using running to lose weight and are starting out overweight, it's very difficult to start running. It's not only overcoming being slightly unfit, but biomechanically and quite frankly the physics are against you. What's really important to know is that walking is also a really good form of exercise, number one, and number two, it will help to lay the groundwork and strengthen very similar structures that you need for running. So at the beginning, when I get people really just starting out as a beginner, we will do lots of walking and a very little bit of running. And over a period of 8 to 12 weeks, we will try to switch around and do more running and less walking, but it's a long time before we strip out all the walking. Another very important aspect, particularly if you're doing this as a weight loss strategy, is that you are going to get to a point where running more times in a week is not going to give you the same kind of returns. We call this the point of diminishing returns, and in fact where the risks of getting injured start to outweigh the benefits of doing exercises running. And when we get to that point, carrying on with walking in between the days that you are running is an incredibly good way of carrying on doing aerobic exercise, contributing to that weight loss, but reducing the high impact that running does do that is a risk for injury. Not everybody likes to get out there and walk and run every single day. And that's where cross-training, which if you've been following Brad's story, you'll know that he was supposed to be doing quite a lot of cross-training, and he hasn't been. He has been doing a lot of walking. But you can use cross-training, things like swimming, getting on a stationary bicycle, getting on a bicycle, rowing. Essentially things that are non-impact cardiovascular exercise, and those will contribute greatly to your aerobic development. And again, the key is that they come without the risks of increasing the high impact load too much in a weekly cycle.
So now that Lindsey's talked you through exactly what you should be doing as an overweight runner when you first get started, let's take a look at some of the stuff that I've been focusing on to get me in shape for Cape Town Marathon in October. If you watched episode 1 of The Comeback, you may recall that I had some major eye surgery just before Christmas. I had a detached retina and wasn't able to do much post that, but the good news is everything is healing the way it should. I've been given the green light by the surgeons and the doctors, which is fantastic. So the last 7 weeks has just really been focusing on consistency. I'm not worried about the pace that I'm getting out there and running at, and to be honest, I'm still walking more than I am running at the moment. And one thing that I spoke to Lindsey about in the first episode was getting on the indoor trainer and cycling a bit on the days that I wasn't supposed to be running. I'll be the first to put my hand up. I've been really bad at the indoor trainer. Truthfully, I've been on the indoor trainer once this year, but what I have been doing is walking a lot. So I've been getting a lot of mileage in over the weeks, but walking on my non-running days, if that makes sense. And they are literally just really easy walks. I've been doing between 5 and 7 kilometers or 4 and 6 miles on a daily basis, which has been amazing. I'm feeling really good, but on the running days, I've literally been sticking to the plan. And the good news is I've only missed one training session in the last 7 weeks. So that is really, really good. And the day that I missed, we were actually traveling, so I wasn't able to get my run in on that day. So feeling really good that over the last 7 weeks, I've only missed one of the running sessions. Now for the bad news. The area that I've been terrible at is the strength training. And it's so strange because as runners, we know what's good for us. I mean, I work in a health and fitness business where I've got access to live stream strength classes every single week, and I still haven't been doing it. So one of the challenges that I've had is obviously just getting my workday set up that I can do the strength classes. I'm going to hand you over to Shona now to talk about the importance of why we should be doing it, and then I'm going to talk you through a little bit about what I'm going to be focusing on when it comes to strength and what I'm committing to in the coming weeks.
When we're looking at weight loss, one of the things that really contributes to losing fat percentage is strength training. And I keep saying to Brad, I'm like, if only he had a group of experts around him to help him with some strength training, it would really, really be great. And so hopefully he starts getting his act together and jumps into some of the strength classes. But part of the reason why it is so effective with weight loss is because muscles metabolize a lot more, or a lot quicker, and so when we're talking about calories in versus calories out, essentially muscles metabolize quite a bit, and so it's a very effective way to help contribute to your sort of balance of calories in versus calories out. So not just running on its own. Running can contribute, but however, if you add running and strength training, you're really going to get, one, stronger, and two, it's going to contribute to some of the weight loss. As we get older, a lot of the running, slow running just doesn't work as effectively anymore, and so strength training becomes even more pivotal. And we drum on about this all the time, but strength training helps keep you injury free, which in turn helps keep you consistent, and that consistency is also so important, as Lindsey has already mentioned.
So now that I've had my little slap on the wrist from Shona, it's time to make another commitment to this journey towards the Cape Town Marathon later this year. I've been really good from a consistency perspective on the training side of things, and as we progress now, obviously there's going to be more running than walking, so injury concerns are going to start playing a huge part of this journey. So strength training is becoming a non-negotiable. But here at Coach Parry, we always say 3 sessions are ideal, but 2 is better than 1 and 1 is better than none. So I'm going to commit to doing at least 1 session a week. We live stream 7 classes as part of the Coach Parry Training Club every single week. So I'm going to be in one of those live sessions every single week, making sure that I get my strength and conditioning training in. And then finally, the other area that I've had to focus on specifically at the start of this journey is what's going in, my nutrition essentially. And I had a meeting with our in-house dietitian, Nikki de Villiers, just a few weeks ago, and I've been working really hard and closely with Nikki on making sure that we are putting the right stuff in and the right amounts. And I'm going to leave that for episode 3 of the comeback. That's coming up with regards to some of the things I'm doing from a nutrition point of view, and share some of the wins and some of the things I'm really struggling with in the next episode. If you enjoyed this episode of The Comeback, please make sure that you hit the like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my updates to the Cape Town Marathon later this year. But things are going according to plan, which is good news, and I look forward to sharing the next update with you soon.